Do you know if Diana is going to log in?
I just talked to her. She's trying to
Okay,
use an iPad or something. So
Okay.
she's.
very good.
Is anybody tell me how to get a gallery view? That I have a gallery view of everybody but me.
Yeah, I have that too. I'm trying to get everybody. I'm trying to get myself on there too.
If you go to the top corner where there's like a waffle, it looks like a waffle. You click that and you click include yourself.
Yeah, there should be a tiny postage stamp of you on the top right corner of your screen, Judith.
There
Very
is.
small.
It's so small I can't see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but that's it? Is that the best you get?
No, you can. You may have to download the extension.
You can click on that postage stamp and see yourself in full.
Yeah, but right. Then I don't get to see everybody else. That's what's. So, Allison.
Yeah.
Waffle.
Huh?
A waffle?
Well, it kind of looks like a bingo card.
Looks like
Yeah.
dots, like a square made out of dots.
And which corner?
Upper right.
I can share my screen and show you.
Well, that's all right. Upper left,
Okay.
upper right, lower
Upper
left.
right.
Upper right. It looks like a bingo. It's a grid of 3 by 3.
And it says chat.
I'm not seeing that.
I don't see it either.
You may have to download the extension. So if you go to the Google store, the extension store, you don't have to buy it, but there's an extension. It's called Grid View, and if you download that, you get to see all participants within the meet, including
Yeah, I
yourself.
got on before. I'm not sure why. I went through my school account. I probably should have gone through my home account.
Well, I thought I had it the last time too, but it's not.
Well, I can see you all. Can you see me?
Yes.
We can see you, but you can't see yourself, and I can't see myself. So I have no idea what.
I
whether
see
I'm-
myself in the
wonderful.
corner.
How do I look? Thank you,
You look
Dee.
wonderful.
You look fabulous, Judith. Fabulous. You're
You
good.
see more than just the top of my head or something? That's what I. Okay.
Can't you see yourself in the little corner though? In the corner of your screen?
Well, now I've totally lost it, but yeah, I guess it's
It's
like
it's a tiny little picture.
yeah, it's so small, but yeah, I just wanted to be sure it was visible.
No, I know,
Okay.
because sometimes the kids, I can see them from here, and I'm like, guys, you got to move your camera a little bit.
Okay, so
I can show you after the meeting how to download the extension so you can, for future meetings, see everybody.
Well, I could call my son down and he could do it quickly.
It's fairly simple.
I would
Yes,
appreciate
I'm
that.
sure it is.
Absolutely.
Always the teacher, Allison.
504.
Oh, I can't escape it.
I don't know if others are trying to join.
Ella said that she was going to join us too.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Melinda out in the back porch there.
Yeah, my woodpecker.
The light is nice.
I just saw your note, Joanne, about the link not coming through on the email.
Right.
So do you get an invitation email?
Well,
do-
I get a whole series of emails, but what happens is it lists my name and it lists Amy's with no address. And I think like last time when I logged in and nobody knew I was here, it was
Mhm.
because I logged through the citizens one. I had Melinda send me the link. I don't get
Okay.
that one. I think it may have to do with the name.
Okay.
When you look at the name, you're just going to see my name. You don't see my email on there.
Should it be jweir@VoluntownCT?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll double
Thank-
check.
Thank you.
Yep.
That would be my dog. I'm sorry, guys. Welcome to
It's
COVID.
okay.
I've met everybody's dogs, cats, siblings.
Okay. We have one more coming in, Paula Grillo. Let's see.
There she is.
Hello.
Hi, Paula.
She's muted.
Did you want to give Diana a call, Adam, or?
Well, I think I'm going to have to. She's probably
Oh.
trying to join us, but she's probably going to have to call in.
Yeah. We haven't started, Paula. We're just waiting for a few more. It's the quietest meeting I've ever been to.
It's that little recording thing up there.
Well,
We're
yeah.
not just going to chat.
The last time I got her through her phone and she's not picking up. Hi, Diana. You can't get on, can you? Oh, really? Okay. Why don't we put you on by phone, okay? Okay, we're going to do Diana again by phone. Diana, can you hear us?
Okay.
Can everybody hear Diana?
Yes.
Is everyone there?
We have, there's 8 of us right now. You're 9, so we have a good crew. Enough to do business. Joanne, do you want to pick up on the meeting or should I just get down through the agenda?
You can go ahead, Adam. That's fine.
You sure? Okay.
Yes, positive.
Diana,
I
you
think I
can hear
probably
us,
should.
right?
I'm the vice chair. And if the chair can't do it, it usually goes to the vice chair.
Yes, and
I
that's,
should probably run through it.
yeah. That's Joanne. Diana, are you still on?
That's Chris.
Yeah, that's me now.
Yeah, Chris is the vice
Oh, Chris
chair
is the
now.
vice chair. Okay,
Yeah.
that's right. Okay, go ahead, Chris. Fine.
Sure. So I'll call them, well, I'll just read the title. Call the meeting to order at, what is it, 5:12? And the first order of business is Youth Service Bureau Local Prevention Council membership for 2021. I guess we're all here. Next item is review
Well,
the,
I just wanted to check, Ella is there, but Melinda, do we have, and Allison, do we have some of the students that might be continuing for next year?
Anna just texted me. She's at work. She's going to try to join before she gets home. So she's our high schooler still.
Okay, and then I'm not sure what happened with Ella.
Yeah. There is someone I have in mind for next year. That's going to be an 8th grader.
Okay. And then Judith, do you have anybody in the citizens realm in town that might want to join?
Not at the moment. I certainly keep trying to ask people, but I don't right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
all right. Next item is the minutes of the May 15th meeting. I know they were distributed. Are there any corrections or changes?
Hello?
Yes, Diana, we're back.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Keep cutting out.
I'm not sure why. Go ahead.
If there's no corrections or changes,
I didn't
Somebody-
see any. I thought it was, I make a motion to accept the minutes
thank you.
as written.
I'll second that.
Great, all in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Next up is the budget report for 2019-2020. Should be the last one for this.
Yes, the balance right now, including the collections, is $31,212.21. And of that, $28,902.08 are in the collections. The rest are remaining balances, CRAC grants and other types of funds that are available.
Is there a chance we could lose any of the money by
No.
not spending the grants during this COVID-19?
No, we've spent all the balances of those grants that need to be expended. Melinda has become very proficient in doing that.
Yep.
Good. Yeah, we don't want to lose any of that. All right, any questions?
No?
Next up is projected grants, funding sources, and development of the 21-20 budget.
Chris, we usually do a motion to accept the budget report. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Dee Dee.
Yeah.
We have a motion.
I move the budget report be accepted as presented.
Second.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
I did.
Joanne
Oh, you
did.
did, okay.
All right. Sorry, Chris.
Oh, no problem. Any discussion? Great. All in favor of accepting the budget report?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So carried. Next up, projected grants, funding sources, and development of the 2021 budget.
As a comment, the the town budget and the Board of Ed budget were approved last night at a meeting. And there are some funds in each one of those budgets toward the Youth Service Bureau program. And then as far as what's happening with the state, we'll watch to see if they deposit funds in our account. Melinda, have you seen anything as far as the upcoming budgets are concerned?
Nope.
So I think that as we go along and we look at some of the proposals that Melinda has, we'll have to consider, after-school programs and other projects that we would want to fund. But I think that we're going to have to project out what those are. And we can do that during the July and the August meeting as we prepare for the year.
We have plenty of money, that's for sure. Good thing. Any more comments on that?
Well, we are eligible for $2,265.16 through CIRAC, and that proposal is going to be due the end of July. That it's going to be more competitive this year than it has in the past, and and they really seem to be focusing on vaping. They're being very adamant that things have to be focused on prevention. So, needless to say, well, if any of you have any thoughts about prevention issues and things that I will be writing the grant proposal. And I will, I've talked, well, I haven't talked, but I've written to Adam, and I've talked to Amy and Melinda, but everybody on the advisory board, if you have any suggestions, I would be more than happy to hear your ideas, because it is a fair amount of money. And as far as vaping is concerned, what I've been able to find out at this point is that many of the programs are being offered free by the government. So that's not a place to be spending money.
We still have the $2,500 prevention funds that we need to spend too, that you got us.
Well, you mean, well, we just got 1,000, but you mean altogether we have 2,500 more.
Yep.
So we really, again, have money to spend, but again, I'm sure you all agree, we want to spend it wisely in a way that it's going to make a difference for the community. So we'll be thinking of the other money does not have to be spent, but if we are given the grant this year, that money is a 12-month spend. So that's the money we need to be focusing on spending right this minute. And I will just keep you informed and let you know how the grant is progressing and so on and so forth. But that's where we are with it right now. It just came out about 3 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that.
Do we still have the lock boxes available and things of that nature we bought in the past? Or that
there's a few in my closet that we still have.
Wow. Nobody seems interested in.
Yes, a budgeting issue. Dee Dee, you're working for the YSB now. What computer are you using right now to attend this meeting? We can't hear you. Can't hear you.
You're on mute, Dee Dee.
Yeah, I see that. Sorry. No, I'm using the kids' school Chrome, but yeah, my home laptop went kaput on me. So
And that's what Dee Dee was using for the board meetings and also the YSB meetings. Dee Dee needs a laptop, probably a PC that can really help. And I would like to see if we could divide the expenditure for that from the YSB funds and the board funds, because I think it's very helpful that she's recording the minutes and and communicating. But it's really an interesting thing that she would have to use her own equipment to complete a job for two different, for two organizations. So I wouldn't mind making the motion that YSB contribute, I don't know, maybe $400 toward a laptop that Dee Dee could use for YSB work and attending meetings and other things.
We can include some funds in the LPC grant also, Adam. I think it's up to 15% of the budget is permitted to be used
For administrative purposes.
Yes.
Well, we've really, I mean, it's quite a responsibility that she has to go borrow her son's computer or find another laptop to complete our work. So,
well, I'll just include $100 from the LPC budget
okay.
when I write the grant proposal.
Well, I'm looking, this is an immediate need, so I would use funds even from the collection if we have to, and then make an adjustment later on.
Right. Well, take it out of the LPC money that's already there.
I made a motion,
Second.
400. Second.
Sorry, I was listening to you, Adam, before.
Yeah, there's a motion for $400 for the YSB to contribute towards Dee Dee's computer. Does anybody
Yes.
second that?
Something with Microsoft Word.
Yeah, I did. The same thing happened with Melinda, I remember. We wanted to get her a good one too. Joanne seconded that. Any discussion? All in favor of the computer for Dee Dee?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried.
God bless
Yeah, I agree. We shouldn't have to use old or home. For work.
No, it's a real challenge.
Yes. Next up is program adjustments due to COVID-19.
Well, Melinda, it's been like everything has had to be rearranged.
Yep. We did the Nest virtual programs, but now the kids are kind of done. It's summer, it's beautiful, so they're done. I was looking into a Nest program for the summer. They do a travel program where they could bring kayaks or paddleboards out this way. That way there's no bus transportation or anything like that, since that would be an issue. I'm still waiting to hear back from the instructor at Nest. Is that even an option?
For using buses, as long as there can be social distancing.
No, like just to actually have a kayak or paddleboard program. Like the Nest would bring all the kayaks out. We would probably launch them from Finn Beach and do the pond.
Absolutely.
That
Okay.
sounds terrific.
And
Finn Beach
I
isn't
just
being
got
used for-
something from Mystic Seaport, Melinda, that might be of interest. They're running some summer programs that could be a possibility, but I don't think I forwarded that to you.
No, I didn't get anything. So how many people can we have on a bus, Adam?
Oh, only 10.
10 kids?
Yeah, and then there's discussions, the Connecticut Transportation System is putting in a plexiglass surrounding by the driver. It's an interesting process. And this is one of the biggest challenges with reopening schools is you can only fit about 10 people on the bus and maintain social distancing.
So that's including adults? I mean, so 10 plus the driver?
Yeah, that's about it. And
Wow.
then if there's a family, we were thinking that we could cluster family members together because, I'm not going to send a bus back to one household 4 times to pick up 4 siblings. So there's some issues to be worked out with transportation. That's one of the biggest things that's happening. As a matter of fact, as we speak now, the governor is doing a conference call at 5 p.m. That just came through. And I believe that transportation for students and other people might be in that discussion. So I hope to find out and receive more direction for that in the
Yeah,
future.
can you keep me in the loop on that one?
Sure.
So I can see if we can offer anything. And I'm thinking more offering older kids than younger kids, because I think they're more capable of social distancing than the little guys.
That's correct.
So Ness, I brought this up to Melinda. Ness runs summer programs. A bunch of our Voluntown kids have gone on their own, siblings, just for fun. But Ness's summer programs are completely full, so that's why they offered to come to us with either the paddle boards or the kayaks. But they also offer some evening programs. I know for adults, they do like ladies' night stand-up paddle boards on Thursdays. So even if it were an afternoon thing and not during the day type thing, Ness is pretty accommodating. So it's nice that it can be an option.
That would be neat for with the adults. The whole family could do something like that.
They do a lot of family events too, and that would be interesting too, Chris, because they do a lot of sailing, but they haven't been using the sailboats because they're too close. But if they take a family out on a vessel, that might actually really work, and we could do more family type programs too, or YSB could.
Yeah, I've just found the summer's kind of hard because everybody is vacationing, but this year might be different. So we can try it, see if we get interest, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
It
Yeah,
would
those
be
are neat
entertaining
programs.
to watch. I'm sorry.
No, I'm
It'd be
sorry.
entertaining to watch people sail that have never done it before, actually.
It's really entertaining. It's fun to watch. That's what we do with the 8th graders twice a year on their 8th grade nest trips. They go kayaking and sailing, and it's very entertaining for me.
Those are some unique opportunities, though, for people that might not be able to. So, Melinda, you might get some interest, you know?
Yep, especially, maybe this year because of non-vacationing. So
Yep.
I'm going to try it. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I really like the family involvement part of it. That's neat. Anything else?
I don't know what's going to happen in the fall. I don't know how I'm going to have programs after school. I don't know. They're going to have to be virtual. I don't even know if you guys are going back. I don't know. I don't think anyone knows.
Rhode Island the governor just announced that they're going back to school on August 31st.
Okay.
Well, I believe Massachusetts is going back and they're limiting class size to 10.
Yes. There's many different options and discussions going on right now.
So, I mean, if you guys go back, am I going to even be permitted to have an after-school program?
I'm not sure on that one.
All right. I'll do a little research on some programs, and I'm not going to kill myself if we can't do anything, but I'll see what we can come up virtually and other things.
Well, and outdoors maybe in the early,
Right.
or, outdoors will give you more options.
Yeah, outdoors would be good.
So maybe more sporting type programs as well.
They have fishing.
Yep.
They could
Yeah,
come to
can
us.
they do
We
that
could head
program?
to the reservoir.
We never had the Nest Fishery Awareness Program because of COVID again. And that is one the kids really did like. So I could try to do that. And we could maybe actually, I don't know, hold the class outside as long as it's not raining.
We
Oh,
are
there's-
looking at right now trying to do some individual tutoring during the summertime with certain students for summer school rather than going a virtual route. And we've been in touch with Uncas Health Center and a couple of other people to review some of the parameters with that. So each one of the things we're talking about is under review.
I think some of the programs too, like fishing, they could almost do some of that electronically like this to explain the lures, how to make them, the habitat, and types of fish, and then for the fishing itself, get together and social distance outside.
Yep.
Kids, I'm sure, really need social interaction. They're sorely lacking during this. It's gotta be
Yeah,
tough.
they really need it.
They
Yeah.
do offer a fishing program virtually already, Ness. It's geared more towards high school, but they said they can tailor it down to junior high.
Well, Melinda, even if you do like craft type things and you can't have them, like I'm thinking of my littles in the fall, and you can't have them in school, you have access to send kits home and they could do it over the computer, if that was something that would work.
It's
'Cause you'll
true.
have access to them. You'll be able to get them the materials. It's not like
Right.
you have to say, do you have this? Do you have that?
Right, because I could just put it in a packet, give
And
it to
send it. Yeah, we'll send it in their book bag.
done. Yep, that's fine.
Just some good ideas. Interesting. Next up is the report from the YSB director.
All right. Well, basically, it was the Nest traveling program. Still waiting to hear back from her. I'm going to try to call Nina because Lauren's not responding to me. The 8th grade YSB award is going to be going to Lincoln Whitwer for attending YSB after school programs and for being a responsible community member. Jackie and I think Allison and Amy talked about that because I didn't get a lot of people really helping out this year.
Not from 8th grade.
It was cut short, but so he's getting a check. I signed the certificate this morning, so he's all set. Reports, I'm working on the YSB end of the year report. That's due August 1st. It's relatively simple. And I'm also working on the CREC end of the year report, which is due July 15th. This year it's gonna be a lot easier because we didn't, have a lot of programs. We bought that kit. And Judith, like Judith said, she's going to be working on the CREC 2021 application, which is due July 31st. And that's all I got.
Wow, that's the shortest report I've ever seen.
There's nothing going on.
Kind of a bummer, actually. What a crazy time. Legislative reports next. Anybody have anything for that?
No, there hasn't been any action at this point. It's all been focused around COVID-19 and some of the committees reviewing the recovery and when things can open up again.
I know the legislature, they haven't even met since March. So they're not doing much. Smart recovery program.
Well,
Get my-
we're still not meeting.
Let me mute.
My assumption is that once the emergency is lifted, that I had reserved the library for meetings during the summer because the school, of course, would not be available to us. So we will be evaluating whether to go ahead and start right up again as soon as we have a place to be meeting. I like Melinda. It seems to me that even if school is open in the fall, I can't. I don't think Adam would be comfortable, reasonably so, at having smart recovery meetings held in the library, at the school library. So it will definitely, that's going to be our challenge is to find a place to be holding the meetings. And then, of course, you have the whole issue of if we still don't have a vaccine and we're still in the same boat that we are right now, it's going to be a little bit concerning to see just exactly how we're going to manage the meeting.
How about the Peace Trust, Judith?
I've thought of that as a possibility. I think that's a good possibility, and that the room is actually big,
Mm-hmm.
really big, much bigger than the library. So if Nancy's willing and so on, that would be an excellent
Mhm.
place. I'm not sure about, they charge rent. That's the only reason that I have not, explored it too much yet, but I'm just sort of waiting. I do know that some of the people that have been coming to the SMART meetings in the past have either had COVID-19 or have been exposed to it. So it's not surprising
Yeah.
that when you're dealing with a group of people that have been dealing with addictions, that you're going to have people that may have been exposed to the virus. So I obviously have some personal decisions to make about that too, because I want to be reasonable about what I do as well as what everybody else does. So I'm taking it a day at a time at this point.
Does the firehouse, or is that just not opportune for that? Because I just don't see, like, the library is close quarters and lots of surface,
Mhm.
and kids are in there. It doesn't
Well-
look like a good spot for social distancing, and you just need to be able to talk, right? I mean, it really just needs to be a social group, right? Would you do better in another spot?
Oh, I think definitely. I mean, the idea of the library was all pre-COVID-19.
Okay.
I mean, that
The other option, Judith, is over the summer, some people are using the pavilion. You still have to social distance. You can't like sit at the picnic tables, but that's a possibility of using the pavilion. You do have to fill out a field use form, which I do have.
you're talking about the gazebo. I call it
No, the pavilion, we have a pavilion now.
the new one, the new
Yeah.
building. I hadn't thought about that. Yes. Because it's covered, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'd totally forgotten that was there, Melinda. Thank you.
But,
I said, and I would much prefer to be outdoors.
yeah, at least in the summer. But just let me know if you're interested, because we're working with Tracy and kind of redoing our forms, basically saying that the town and we are not liable if there's any issues, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep.
That's my report.
Thank you. Next up is our self-evaluation.
As we went through each year, we tried to update what we've had for accomplishments for organizational leadership, youth programs, community relations, and business management. And then we have our goals and priorities for the upcoming school year. Of course, one of the big things is for next year is reorganizing priorities based on any executive orders by the governor to maintain social distancing to meet COVID restrictions. I think it's a pretty standard format, but again, if anybody ever asked us, what does Youth Services Bureau do? We would wind up, approving this self-evaluation, and people can receive an understanding of what's happening. And this one would be signed, if it's approved today, by Diana as the chair, myself, and then Melinda. And Melinda could keep this in the folder that she uses for self-evaluation and any evaluations for grant purposes.
Has that been distributed?
I think I sent it out to the packet, yes.
It came out with the minutes.
Yeah, there are like 5 things. You had to hit the +2, Chris.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I noticed that today too.
Did anybody get a chance to look it over?
I did. It looked pretty comprehensive.
I've looked at it.
glancing
But I
at
mean,
it.
there's no problem with delaying a review of this until July.
Well, I suggest we review it in July when other people have had a chance to look at it. It's certainly, as always, very detailed, Adam.
It is.
Thank you.
He prides himself on that. He's got it.
Yeah, Adam has an answer for everything.
He does.
And
Not quite,
it's
Chris.
back it up.
He's 3 steps ahead of all of us. That's a good thing.
Well,
Yeah, the amount of information that Adam, yeah, it's amazing. So we'll just table that till next month.
yeah, put it on the agenda for another reading for the next month for July.
Alrighty. The executive director's evaluation.
Yes, I have shared this. I've shared this with Melinda. I mean, and also, you know, have talked on and off, you know, with Judith and what's happening. But I put down a special thank you. Melinda Bryan has displayed personal growth and competency in her position as director. Resiliency was also observed in her response to COVID-19, to COVID and providing online programs, as well as attention to full and productive usage of the CRAC grant. And we had a conference on June 4th, and this is being reviewed at the 6/10 meeting, and target date for completion could be 7/8/20. I did not share this with the committee itself, but it shadows the accomplishments of the board itself. So it's important that we evaluate Melinda. I have no problem with asking the board to authorize signing the document, and I've generally signed it as the evaluator in my role as, well, a member of the advisory board, plus secretary, and in an offhand way, the superintendent of schools. So it would be helpful if the board made a motion to authorize the YSB secretary to approve Melinda's evaluation and have the secretary sign the document.
Is there anything in there about Melinda being a very strong advocate for the youth and programs? And this, even on the board, that's something, if it's not recognized, and it pleases all of you,
Yeah,
you probably add that in there.
Yeah, Chris, it indicates the quality of work has again been verified by her youth-centered philosophy and the programs implemented over these months. The overall YSB program works smoothly on a consistent basis, and she has excellent rapport with students. And school and other organizations were closed on March 16th for the remainder of the school year. This required suspension of scheduled events, but Melinda developed a series of distant learning programs that were well attended and quite successful for our youth. So there is a promotion of a youth-centered philosophy.
Would anybody like to make a motion?
Yeah, I move that the secretary be authorized to sign the evaluation of the director at his discretion.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. I
Now,
like that.
at this point, there's another byproduct of this. We're not going to meet until the next budget year. And each year we've worked with honoring an increase in the hourly rate for Melinda. And I know that these are tough budgetary times, but we do have significant balances in the accounts, and she has been skilled. So this has no impact on the local taxpayer. It's based on performance, and you know, generally speaking, there's about a 2% a year raise. I think that we've been trying to, you know, make sure that we're compensating Melinda on that. And of course, she does get mileage if she does programs and other types of things. I haven't talked to Melinda specifically about the money involved in that. But in keeping with some reasonable increases, I would authorize you know, at least a 2% raise. Melinda, I haven't talked to you about that. Does that seem like it's within the ballpark? Or did you have something else in mind?
I'm not sure. Rachel usually has a figure that she discusses with you. I'm not sure what that was though.
Yeah, and I did not get a chance to, but I really, well, it depends. We would have to make a decision no later than you know, the next board meeting, because the payroll is developed and we do that. I think I wouldn't want to wait longer than the next meeting in July to determine a rate.
Okay.
And this is again a COVID-19 thing, you know, communication by telephone, by emails and stuff. The whole person-to-person interaction has gone to distance meetings.
Would you like to know why I'm laughing at him? Because I will be on vacation on your date in July. I suppose if I brought my computer, I could log in. I don't know. But we will be on vacation in July.
You will be, okay.
Yeah, I definitely will be there, and I haven't looked at the at August either. I can.
Do we need a motion for the 2% or more if anybody?
We could.
Or less? Hopefully not.
Well, we would have to confirm at the next meeting. We could research that, come back and ask the board to confirm the raise. How's that, Chris?
Good.
Okay. And I just can't thank Melinda enough because when she first started years ago, she looked at me and I said, I think you're going to make this really an outstanding program. And she has, and she completely amazes me with the things that she does in such a caring and efficient way, and the relationship that she has with the kids. So thank you, Melinda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I think the way you have described to us here and there how you've handled staffing issues for various programs too, we've really stepped up for that. And
Yeah, it was really scary.
It's easy.
Scary at first, but it's gotten much more comfortable. We're just coming up with, you know, new things. COVID, whatever. 10 people on a bus. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I admire your advocacy for the kids in the programs too, very much actually. And we received $1,000 from CIRAC because of Judith strong-arming everybody to participate at the next when there are other. But you like to talk about that?
Well, I think we did talk about it at the last meeting, Chris. It was, so yes, I was very pleased, and it was, but it was covered at the last meeting. So thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. A vaping report.
Oh, well, the vaping, as I said, that is a huge push, and I know that Amy has felt. I've asked her in the past about vaping in our school, and she has said that it's not a problem. But I do think that the time to start educating people, the children, about issues is before it is a problem. It's much more effective in a lot of ways to fifth graders. I mean, you start, in fact, when I was in Ohio, we actually had anti-smoking programs for preschoolers. So I'm going to talk to Amy again and make just from the standpoint of making sure that we're doing some educational work. Whether it's going to require money or not is a different issue. I have also had a fantasy of the LPC. This is probably a fantasy, but I mean, some towns have passed ordinances outlawing the sale of vaping equipment in their town. That would mean essentially Sonny's in the mobile station. But I'm going to explore that a little further. It's just really an issue of whether, if they're not making a lot of money, if the state has enough of a license fee, they may be willing to not fight the idea of not being able to sell vaping equipment. But I'm not really prepared to take away a lot of their income without really strong support from the town, and I don't know that we would get that. So,
Christopher, I was thinking of contacting Angela Duhame years ago. She used to come to all of our meetings, and she is now the head of CRAC. And I do think that there's a number of things that CRAC, she's the executive director, are developing, and it would be nice if we could perhaps ask her to join us at the July meeting, in a virtual meeting, and to give us an update of how she sees programs being implemented related to vaping.
That would be good. That last CRAC representative, whose name escapes me, he attended maybe for a half a year. He was very helpful with questions we had about what CRAC was doing and monies available and programs. I think that's a great idea. Anything else on that? Okay, the next meeting date is July 8th, 2020 at 5 p.m. Has anything been overlooked?
I'll just ask Adam. I'd be more than glad to ask Angela.
Okay, sure.
If you'd like me to.
Yes, please do that. That would be great.
Okay.
It would be, and tell her we really would like to see her again.
Well, she has mentioned it. I mean, I do see her fairly often, so I would be. Anyway, I will do that.
She's a great communicator.
Yeah, she's very, very talented.
The only thing I have is, Allison, if you could stay on, I would like to check out that download.
I will too.
Always the teacher.
I use Zoom all the time, but this is not Zoom.
It'll make your life a lot easier, I promise.
Well, actually, my school computer is like 10 years old, and the Wi-Fi is gone, and I've had some repairs. But when I'm at school, I have to hardwire it to use it. And this is my home computer that I'm using, and I have the school platform and then my personal platform. So this may have gone in another route for this meeting. Dee Dee's smiling.
You need a new computer too, Adam.
we can talk about that. It's getting very interesting because it's like 10 years old, Christopher.
Yeah, if it's ineffective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anybody would like to make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Adam, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Thank you. And Dee Dee, you're taking us off of live?
Yes, I will.
Thank you so much.
Hold on, I can stop the recording as well.
Hi, Paul.
Just a second. Hang on. One more step.
Nice to see you, Paula.